I saw, see, I got what information I got was online, was it stated that you could park it over by the Stratton building.
Yes.
And I parked over there and had to walk all the way over here. And by the time I got around, it's brisk, darling. It's brisk out there, so. What was your name?
Carrie.
Carrie, I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to meet you,
Where are you
Carrie.
from?
I'm from here in Springfield. I've lived, born and raised in this town, but I've lived all over the country, darling. I've just never taken the time
To look at some of the sites?
well, I've taken the time to look at the sites, but I've never taken the time to physically come into this building itself. I've been in the when I was a child. I used to run through the armory, and we'd go down underneath the town and run through the hallways when I was a child. But those days are long past, as you can tell. There is no business going on today, is there, darling?
No, not today.
No special sessions or nothing like that.
It's kind of in between right now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is the House of Representatives.
This is the representative side. This is beautiful.
So yeah, because there's nobody here, no session going on. If this was session.
Yes, yeah, we couldn't record in here or
Correct.
take pictures, darling.
Correct.
Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha.
So, on behalf of Secretary of State Jesse White, we wish to welcome you to the Illinois State Capitol. We're going to begin here, House of Representatives. We're going to go over to the Senate side, which is just across the way.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go down to the third floor where you can get your best pictures and views of the dome. Then we go to the second floor. We'll show you the governor's office, the Hall of Governors. Last room is the old Supreme Court.
Awesome.
So we start here with the House of Representatives. There's 118 members here. You've got Abraham Lincoln representing the 51 Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
There's a portrait of Stephen Douglas over here representing the 67 Democrats. Now this, in the very center there, that's where Speaker Michael Madigan
sits
on the bench between those two flags. The lower podium, that's reserved for his clerical staff.
Mm-hmm.
The long juror-like looking boxes, that's reserved for the press and the page.
I gotcha.
Where we're standing on, this is known as the gallery. So this is where the public witnesses the sessions, comings and goings at a first come, first served basis.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in session, there will be a doorman that tells you.
Yeah, yes, when you're allowed to enter and when you're, when they are in session, you're not allowed to talk. You got to stay quiet. It's like a courtroom type proceedings,
Yes,
basically,
yes,
is the way I understood it.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Now if you look down here, those little boxes on the desk.
Yes, ma'am.
In Illinois, we vote electronically.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got red for no, green for yes, yellow, it calls them present, white turns on their microphone, blue calls them a page. Those are tied to the roster boards that's on each side of the chambers.
Mm-hmm.
The lower half is the legislators' names alphabetically. So whatever button they press, the coordinated color will appear next to their name. The top half is a TV screen, and that's where you're going to see whatever bill they're voting on and whichever legislator is speaking.
Okay.
So the idea is they can see what's going on, the gallery can
See what's going
on. Yep.
Can I ask, how do they decide who gets to speak? Is there an order of, or is there a number that's limited?
You know, I don't know about that. I would assume that's
Up to the speaker's decision on
what priority is. I don't know.
There's a time limit. I understand that you can only let so many people speak for so long.
Sure.
I'm sure every situation is different. I just didn't know if they had a set standard. But
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but to find all those
little quirky things.
Yeah, little quirky things. It's not worth.
I'm sure there's parliamentary procedures.
Yeah, exactly. I'd call it that too.
Now the representatives and the senators will meet from January to May, and then come back in the fall for a veto session. Came back. They finished up last Thursday.
So they won't be back for the rest of the year then,
no,
dear?
and the new guys will be sworn in, and then they're going to start back up.
I gotcha.
So we start, let me show you about the room itself. This is what's known as a ley light. That has over 8,000 pieces of stained glass with 42 different colors. It is surrounded by a plaster cast molding finished in gold leafing. Now these chandeliers They are 17 and a half feet long, European crystals. They weigh 750 pounds.
They look heavy.
They have an electric winch system up in the attic to lower them down by the press of a button. When it comes time for their annual cleaning, they get lowered to desk level. Now, they did renovations in this, where we're about to show you, all the tour, in 2006. So they got it back to its historical 1800 style.
So it's been about 12 years now, almost.
Now, senators will have, this is, I mean, for lack of a better term, this is an office building. Senators have offices in this building. Some representatives, most representatives go over to the Stratton building.
Stratton building, yeah, they're over at the Stratton building. I remember that. I always thought it was funny that there was a ton over there and that the Senate's over here. I didn't ever understood why that was.
Outgrew it.
But I know it's tradition. For the longest time, the Senate has occupied majority of this building. Now, it wasn't always like that, but it just seems majority of time now.
Yeah.
And then the representatives out, and there was a long time where they were using some of the armory building across the street too. There back in the 70s and 80s, but those days are long past. The armory building's kind of been I guess a toss-up. I would say, and what people decide.
It definitely doesn't get used. Like it used to.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you used to be able to, that building usually almost always got used.
Yeah, it was always being exactly, some type of function was being operated out of there, government or private or anything.
Now, there are tunnels for the reps to...
Private backways, halls.
No, they're public.
They're all public?
Yeah. You can't go in there today, but if this was a business day, you absolutely could. That's where the vending machines are. That's how you get to the cafeteria if you're going to the Stratton building or to the Howlett building. They have cafeterias. This building does not.
There is no food area or common. Yeah, they're not. It's not allowed.
Yeah, tourists, if they bring food, it has to be.
Yeah, kept out downstairs, out of the main areas.
Well, and as you can see, they put all this money into a renovation. They don't want somebody to spill a Coca-Cola.
Oh, I already know how they do.
Well, this is the Senate.
Senate side.
59 members, 22 Republicans.
That's all right, darling. I can't read.
It's got for 2.5 months, and then it's about to change in the next.
Yeah, as soon as you memorize it.
37 Democrats.
37 Democrats and
now,
20.
Again, they're Republicans on one side, Democrats
on the other.
Now, this is where President Barack Obama had started his Illinois Senate career. Being a young senator, he would have sit in the back. Now, these are not the same desks because the place got renovated after he left. But he'd have sat in the back row, being the new senator, and I believe it's the third desk over. But that's where he would have sat. Kind of interesting. The president is Senator John
Connally. Collerton, I'm sorry.
He sits there on that chair. Now the building itself, plaster cast moldings here in the ceiling, finished either in a bronze or a gold leafing. Now this ceiling, you probably got to head over there to get, if you want to take a picture, there's a
yes,
with the trumpets. That's kind of impressive.
Will we be going down on the lower floor or no, darling? Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Nobody goes there unless they're invited.
I appreciate you telling me that.
No, one day I'd like to, but nope. Now the chandeliers themselves, they are European crystals. They are original to the building. You will see pictures in, if you look in some of the archives, you'll see these same chandeliers.
Chandeliers that were here.
1877. They were once gas lighting. Then they were switched to light bulbs. They are just recently switched over to LED lighting.
Do these lower down also, or are they permanent?
They have to be hand cranked. Somebody gets in the attic and
hand cranks them down also.
Yeah. Well, those are an electric winch.
Yeah, it's a big difference in weight. Yes, things are heavy, darling.
And the marble is from countries of Italy, Switzerland, parts of the U.S. The furniture that the wood they use is a fine furniture wood. It is mahogany and walnut burl. The carpeting, when they went to replace the carpeting, you'll notice it's in 27-inch strips.
Mm-hmm.
It was loomed over in England where they still have 150-year-old looms, such as they did in the 1800s. But they're hand sewn, put down in 27-inch strips and hand sewn together.
On this side, what are those seats back there used for, young lady?
Those are the President's Gallery. A lot of times they get used for special occasions. You know, a baseball team's done well. Probably the Cubs when they
Won the World Series. Is this the side that Barack Obama's when he came and addressed the no, or was it?
I don't know.
You don't know what side he spoke on? Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
I would imagine being a senator, he would have come to the senator.
That's what I assume.
I don't know. I just know I sat there and watched this limousine go past, and that was kind of cool.
I remember that, and I remember everybody going, well, where did they go? I knew he had gone. There was a high chance that he was going to the feed store to grab something, and I know that.
Good choice.
And I know that the right there is when you walk out the front of the feed store entrance is the entrance into the downtown tunnels, which leads right over to here. So I knew he was coming when everybody wasn't sure. He was coming through the tunnels. It was safer that way. Now, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know he has traveled through these tunnels many a times as a senator. He said he had. So, but it's nice. This is beautiful here.
Well, they started to build this in 1868. Cost $4.3 million. $6.35 was returned back to the treasurer's office when they were done. This was done by a French architect.
What are these side areas used for?
That's where they can either the lobbyists can come talk to them, or the legislators can go out there and take a break.
I gotcha.
Session. It's just another place for them to get off the floor.
Get off the floor and take a breather, have a drink, a coffee or something like that.
Maybe make a phone call.
Yeah. So handle business.
Far away.
Yeah. That's neat.
If you go over there's nothing but chairs to sit down.
Chairs, little tables.
Just a little area just to sit and get away from things. Well, let's go downstairs, and like I said, you'll get your best view of the building from there.
I really am happy that this place isn't packed today or full of people.
It is kind of nice. We still get tours. There's school kids that still come through here when they're in session, so you fight the lobbyists, you fight the comings and goings.
And that's the thing, when you want to take some pictures.
Busloads of kids.
When you want to take some pictures, there's so many people, and a lot of people freak out for some reason about taking pictures.
Well,
I don't understand.
You don't take them when they're in session.
So we just were all the way up on the 4th floor then.
That's where you were. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the representatives. That's the Senate gallery.
I thought they were much lower down.
Yeah. When you figure this out, you just know that besides being the office building, the very center, that's just where it all comes to the center.
And these are okay. That's the Speaker of the House. I was gonna take a picture of that.
Yeah, you'll hear lobbyists or somebody's trying to meet somebody during session. Well, meet me at the brass rail at 2nd floor, 3rd floor.
I gotcha.
And you get to see everything from these positions.
Wait, now when they're in when they're in session, just like today, the public's restricted to the 1st floor. No, the public can come up here and just take some pictures.
Is the private offices?
Is the private offices in the actual legislative rooms?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You can't get on the floor.
I gotcha.
Oh no, you're more than welcome to
come up here, take some pictures down, take some pictures up, and just
or just see what's going on.
Yeah, just gather a day in the life.
When you're in session, you'll see lobbyists just hanging around till those senators or representatives come out. It's kind of.
Oh, I remember seeing this on this railing specifically in many interviews of senators or representatives, but unsure of where it's at, where they were standing really in the building. Now that I've taken a tour, it's
the very center of it. I mean, that's just meet me by the brass rail, whatever floor, and that's, you can see everybody. So now if you look up in the very center of the dome, the very center, that's a facsimile of our Illinois state seal. And our Illinois state seal is a bald eagle with a banner of speak that reads State Sovereignty, National Union. That has over 9,000 pieces of stained glass, 42 different colors. So from the top, very top of the flagpole to the ground floor is 405 feet, making Illinois the tallest domed capital in the nation.
in all of the United States.
Domed capital.
Domed capital, yeah. And
74 feet taller than the U.S. Capitol.
when they take that number, by chance, do you know, are they including the spire, the flagpole at the top, the very tip?
Oh yes, they got to go to the very top.
Yeah,
of the, top
see,
of the flagpole.
And that's what frustrates me with some of the place, outside of the United States. They will not consider the spire.
Yep.
Part of, and in my eyes, that is part of the building. Somebody had to erect it up there. That's part of it. So
the Hilton Hotel in the early 70s, when that was being built, there was controversy. There was no building to be
taller than the Capitol.
So they built the flagpole taller.
Is that why?
That's why it went up just a little taller.
It was like 5 foot or something like that.
That I don't remember. I just remember.
I remember hearing something about
it was gonna
that.
Be taller than this. And that was how they combated it, was they just built the flagpole taller. So from there you go to the base of the dome, and that's what's known as a frieze. And that is decorative depictions of early Illinois history. So you start over here with the Native American pioneer days, and you go around in order. You pick up part of the War of 1812, and you end with the Lincoln-Douglas debates.
I gotcha. That's neat. Is that copper? Do you know, or is that just plaster?
It's plaster cast finish in bronze.
Finished in bronze.
So bronze makes a lot of things a little richer.
Oh yeah.
Now from there you go to those statues. Those are 10-foot tall statues, and they're early Illinois prominent men. First 3 governors of Illinois is right above us. That's Nina Edwards, territorial governor, Shadrach Bond, 3rd governor of Illinois. Sidney Breese, he was the Supreme Court justice here in Illinois that gave Lincoln his law license. We do have one U.S. president. That's the one directly across from us with hand on the hip. That's Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, 18th president of the United States.
Was from Illinois?
He was born in Ohio, but he had a home that he loved in Galena, Illinois.
I did not know that.
So he's one of them that we claim. Ronald Reagan, Grant, Barack Obama, and
Lincoln. Yeah.
What am I doing?
No, darling. Lincoln's known everywhere. Around the world. Springfield is known for Lincoln around the world.
Well, now I have to point out these were put up 100 years ago when Illinois was 100. In the alcoves there, those paintings, those are what Illinois is known for. Illinois agriculture, Illinois commerce, and Illinois industry.
I gotcha.
Those were painted on canvas and then applied to the wall. Unlike the great mural over here that we like to show off, that was painted directly onto the wall.
Was this just painted by one painter or by multiple painters?
This is a depicting of Colonel George Rogers Clark there in the blue. Lewis and Clark, his older brother. He is enacting peace treaties in 1778 at Fort Gage, which is near Kaskaskia. Now this was actually painted onto the wall in 1885. German artist Gustav Fuchs painted it directly onto the wall. Took him 1 year to complete. He was paid $2,000. Today it's considered priceless. This painting is 40 feet tall.
It is tall.
It is very tall. The lighting that you see here, that is natural lighting.
Natural sunlight. Is that all stained glass, darling, up there?
I'm sure it is. Well, that to me looks like panels.
Wonder if it's. Yeah, I'm wondering it. I'm thinking that the inner ones are stained pressed glass, and the other ones look like they're printed. But I'll get a better picture later on, as long as I'm allowed to.
No, you can't come back up here
Can't
without
come.
a tour
Can't.
guide. So we're gonna
Okay.
get your picture
Okay.
now.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate that.
Yeah, during the week, you're more than welcome to roam without a tour guide, but not on the weekends.
Okay. Then I will come back during the week
Okay.
and get some pictures, some.
Yeah,
Because can you tell me, darling, is there a better day of the week where, like I said, I want to get
This
some
time of
pictures,
year-
but
this
not
time
be
of
in
year,
people's ways all the time. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know if you can do it this week, but this time of year, there's not much going on because
Everybody's out of.
about, yeah.
I'm gonna try and come back then.
Yeah, do you got time this week? Or
Yeah, I will. I should have
sometime
time
in
this
December?
week. I should have time later on this week, and I'm gonna try and come back here. I'll
Yeah,
bring a
'cause there
buddy
might be
with
some
me.
that you just want to come back and see.
Well, it's a lot of the pictures I'd like to take. I want to be able to set up my tripod
And
off
take
to
it?
off to
Okay.
the side, off to. You understand what I'm
That would
saying?
be- that would be absolutely perfect
but the
timing
but the problem
in this
is
month.
I got to get everything set up, and when the place is packed, that's not the time to
No.
be.
Yeah, you get bumped around or
Yeah.
something.
Well, and you just can't get a good shot of what people walk it. Some of the pictures take a few seconds. Like I'll do a time lapse photo to get some of the stretches of light, and some of those pictures will take literally a minute of
Time?
perfect stillness, and I can't hold still for.
No, you need a tripod. That's why tripods are invented.
Yeah.
Well, these are lifelike statues, life-size statues.
Statues.
This is Abraham Lincoln, and he is standing there at 6'4", which was his height. Nickname was Honest Abe, and he's looking over at his political rival, Stephen Douglas, who was only 5'4". He was known as the Little Giant.
And
First African-American senator, Adelbert Roberts, somewhere out of the Chicago area, I'm not exactly sure. One of the longer-running senators, Richard Barr, Richard J. Daley, the mayor of Chicago. for
Chicago,
21 years.
yep.
He actually served 10 years here in the State House. Lottie Holman O'Neill, she was the first female representative elected in 1922, 2 years after women received the right to vote. David Shanahan, one of the longest-running representatives. This is Governor John Woods. He founded the town Quincy, Illinois.
John Woods did? Quincy's a beautiful town.
He was governor twice.
Do you know what years? Maybe his plaque says here.
I don't know.
He was lieutenant governor from 1857 to 1860, and governor from March 1860 to January 1861.
Something happened to somebody. He was only 1 year as governor. Of course, that was a Civil War era, too. Who knows what happened?
Anything, so many people died of disease, of war. It's hard to say.
Not to mention, probably not good to be a politician.
No, back then politicians were not a preferable choice of a job.
Well, now, this is the governor's office. So if you were to have an appointment with the governor, this is where you would come. If you were able to see the governor sign a bill into law, that's the ceremony offices behind those wooden doors. Now, going back to the history of the building was lit in the dome with 144 gas jet lights. So we've got a before and after picture. Gas jet lights burned for almost 100 years, and they darkened and blackened the dome. The dome's only been cleaned once in the history of the building.
In the history of the building, yeah, because
1986, they built special scaffolding because that's how the
dome looked back then.
This is how it looks today.
I remember them taking pictures and showing them on the news. It was a big deal.
There was a lot of yuck they had to clean off. And they just, you just covered up the beauty of the
building.
ledge, yeah. Now this This picture is showing the original entrance, which had 37 exterior steps, and it was actually up here. So you were to walk up 37 exterior steps before you got into the building.
And that would have been one floor down.
No?
No,
This floor.
to this floor?
This floor. Yeah, so they took those steps off and that changed the dynamics of the building. That made what was designed to be the basement is where we all enter in now.
Mhm.
This was designed to be the first floor
I
of the
gotcha.
building. So this is, you want to take some pictures, this is what you were supposed to see.
Thank you, dear, for letting me take the time, take some pictures.
Well, like I said, it would be better if you got time with your tripod.
I will. I'm gonna come back because there's tons of good things to photograph here.
Now, this is our Hall of Governors, and we'd like to show off the other constitutional officers' offices. I work for Secretary of State Jesse White. His actual working office is right over here on this side. Takes up that side of the, well, actually that side.
The entire side there.
He is in charge of the Capitol Complex.
Mm-hmm.
The state librarian in charge of the DMV. So that's what his offices take care of.
Quite a few
Quite a
responsibilities.
few responsibilities. Evelyn Sanguinetti is our lieutenant governor, and that's those doors that are opened up down there at the very end. Comptroller Susanna Mendoza, her office is right across the way. Another constitutional officer, that is Michael Ferretz, he's on the west side. The only constitutional officer that's not here in this building anymore is the Attorney General. Lisa Madigan's office is across the street. They outgrew this building in the 70s, and they built a building across the street.
Which building is that, darling?
That would be, if you're on 2nd Street,
Mm-hmm.
you see Capitol, and that office is probably, well, I guess 2 doors south.
I know which one you're talking
It's a
about.
building that looks like it was built in the 70s, but it's actually 2 doors, I guess.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
You should have the Supreme Court room.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Supreme
it
Court
says the Supreme Court.
on the, yeah.
Yeah,
on the
on the sign out front
next
there.
one to the south of it.
Because I was going to come and get some pictures of that actual sign at night because it's lit up really nicely at nighttime. So I was going to try and get some night pictures of that one.
Just
Is that all the only offices that are up here on this floor,
on
darling?
this floor. This is the constitutional floor of the Capitol. Now, here you're standing, this is the Hall of Governors. So when a governor has served Illinois and left office, the state commissions a portrait to be painted. We start with Shadrach Bond, our first governor from 1818. Go around in a chronological order until we come to the last few governors who's left office. The last governor who's left office is Patrick Quinn. When 42nd Governor Bruce Rauner leaves office, the state will commission a picture, and he gets to choose the background and the artist that he wishes. Let me show you this. This is one too that you might want to take a picture of this one.
Supreme Court.
From what I understand, if we're going to tour the Supreme Court, you might even want to go over there. This is the old Supreme Court room, and they used this until 1908. Again, they outgrew this building and built a new building across the
It's a street, yep.
So they only used this for about 40 years. But we like to show off the depictions of when this was first built. This is the goddess of justice. And she's trampling on a pile of gold coins, holding a tablet of law and a sword in the other hand. Trampling on a pile of gold coins depicts that true justice cannot be bought. Now, if you look in the wall coverings, you'll see the word justice.
Justice, yep.
Today, this is the Senate committee hearing room, and this is where they will conduct information, get to the public to, if they want to present a new bill into law.
Mm-hmm. And is that information posted on the online on when they do that, darling? Do you know?
Well, there's probably online when the meetings are, but I don't know about.
I'm gonna look into.
Probably a script somewhere.
I'm gonna look harder into the online
Well, I know the
website.
Sessions, as the sessions go on, you can see them real time in action when they're from the Senate or the representatives. those are probably not recorded, but they're probably.
Yeah, they're open, it's a limited forum, public's available, it's like a courtroom, public's allowed to see and hear, just not record or,
I would imagine that's how that goes.
yeah, because
Now, when we
nothing,
have small tours, where if the doorman, again, when they're in session, the doorman allows you to go in. You can go in, and I would imagine as an individual, you could go in. But when they're in session, you get special permission from the doorman. Now, this first floor is not part of the tour, weekends or during the week. So there might be some things that you want to see through here.
today that I can take some pictures of that's not normally not available through the week.
Well, this, you can just roam.
Roam this area?
We don't
That's fine.
show you anything here on this floor.
That's fine.
All right?
I appreciate it. Thank you for,
Yeah.
say your name one more time?
Carrie.
Carrie?
Mike?
Mike, yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate it. It
You're
was
welcome.
wonderful
good.
to see this.
I'm glad
Thank you
liked
for
it.
explaining everything wonderfully.
Yeah, like I said, come back during the week when
I-
you can.
I'm
and make
going.
it, make it this time of year.
Are you
when
are you here during the week, young lady?
Yeah, I got to work during the week and one day on the weekend.
That's
But,
fine.
no,
I'm definitely going to come back and hope to see you
Yeah,
again.
and that way you won't have anybody interfering.
That's no problem. It's no
Nobody worries
problem.
about anything.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.